You made it. You made it. You clicked on the video. I knew you would make it to this point right here. You would see this video and you decided to click on it. And now you're looking at me with a serious face. You got your jaw clenched. You got your shoulders tightened. That posture can't be good for your neck. Maybe you opened up social media to distract yourself, to numb the pain, to escape these thoughts in your brain. And you've been dealing with a lot of anxiety and stress. I thank God that you clicked on this video because you're going to hear exactly what you need to hear. First of all, unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders, fix your posture, sit up straight, and just take a deep breath. And I'll do it with you right now. You ready? God's got you. You know that, right? You don't need to overthink. You don't need to stress. You don't need to worry about all these things you can't control. You're going to be okay. I don't know what you've been worrying about, what thought has been replaying in your mind over and over and over. You're probably thinking about it right now. Maybe it's a worst case scenario. Maybe it's a should have, a what if, a conversation you've been running through, a situation that hasn't happened yet but you've been worrying about it. Whatever it is, I want you to know right now that you're going to be okay. God's got it, whatever you're worried about, and He's got you. You suffer more in your imagination than you do in reality. And I'm really going to talk about that in this video and really explain what that means because it's so true. And just this simple phrase has changed my life. Because the truth is, when I say that, what do I mean? I mean, you suffer more in your head than you do in real life. You're not actually suffering from what's happening. You're suffering from what you think might happen. And did you know over 90% of the things you worry about happening don't even end up happening? And I know what you're thinking. You're like, yeah, but this thing I'm worried about is definitely a part of that 10%. You know what I got to say to that? Okay, cool. Guess what? God promised He's working all things together for your good. How many things? Not many things. All things. That means the good, the bad, and the ugly. And yes, even that thing you're worried about, if it does happen, God's got you. Think about all the times you used to worry about something. I bet you can't even remember what you were worried about 2 years ago. God worked it out every single time. He's already working out whatever you're worried about. The problem usually isn't the situation. It's the 30 versions of it that you've made up in your mind. Your mind is very loud. It creates full storylines based off partial information. There's two worlds. There's the world that's actually happening, and then there's the world that's happening in your mind. The world that's actually happening is full of real events, conversations, consequences, things that actually happen. But the world in your mind is full of what ifs, should haves, anxiety, worry, fears about stuff that isn't even real. And your mind, like I said, is very loud. It creates full storylines based off partial information. Let's say somebody didn't text you back. Now you think that they hate you. Let's say you made one mistake. Now you think your entire reputation is ruined. There's a reason the Bible tells us so many times not to be afraid. And there's a reason Jesus made sure to tell us to not worry. He said, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. And then he said, can you add a single hour to your life by worrying? Now think about that. I'm not an expert, but I don't think you can. I think Jesus was being a little sarcastic. I think he was saying worrying is a big old waste of time because it doesn't take away tomorrow's problems. It only takes away today's peace. Worrying is just wasting today's energy on a future outcome that's probably not even going to happen. God said in the Bible, be still and know that I am God. He didn't say be worried and know how it's going to work out. You don't got to know how it's going to work out when you know the one who's working it out. He didn't say be stressed and know what the future holds. You don't got to know what the future holds when you know the one who holds it. God never asked you to figure it all out on your own. He just wants you to trust that He already has. You know the story of Noah and the ark? When God told Noah to build the ark, He gave him incredibly specific instructions. He told him what kind of wood to use. He told him the exact dimensions, how long, how wide. He told him how many decks to build. He told him how to seal it, where to put the door, where to put the window, what animals to bring, all of the above. But there's one thing that God left out of the ark. Have you ever noticed this? There's one thing that the ark doesn't have. And I do not believe this was a coincidence. I don't believe this was an accident or a mistake. I believe God was trying to tell us something. There was no steering wheel. Now that makes no sense because every boat needs a steering wheel. But that was not a mistake because think about it. For 40 days and 40 nights, Noah was on this boat and he couldn't steer it. He couldn't navigate it at all. He just had to trust God while he was in the boat. And isn't that similar to what our life is like? Noah couldn't steer the boat because God never intended for Noah to be the captain. God was the captain. Noah's job was not to steer the boat, but to trust the one who was actually steering it. And maybe you've been trying to put a steering wheel where God never asked you to put a steering wheel. You've been trying to overthink and stress about things that are not even in your control. The future, the timing, the outcome, all those things are not in your control. They're in God's control. And every time you try to overthink about those things, you're kind of just worshiping the problem. You're trying to take a wheel
that isn't even there. You're trying to navigate a flood that you were never meant to navigate. And then you wonder why you feel so tired and exhausted and stressed out. It's because you're trying to do God's job. God knows how to do his job. He does not need your help in doing his job. God said in the Bible, the Lord himself will fight for you. Just stay calm. Notice he didn't say, the Lord needs your help. You need to try harder, work harder, stress out, figure it all out on your own. No, not once does the Bible say worry about it, stress about it, or figure it all out on your own. But over and over and over, it says trust God. God is so much bigger than all your fears and uncertainties. His plan is so much bigger than all your disappointments. And listen, you might feel like Noah in that ark right now. The storm is really loud. The waters are rising. It feels like the whole boat is shaking right now. But you were never meant to navigate this. Your job isn't to figure out where you're going. Your job is just to stay in the ark and trust God. Trust the captain, because God is not just the captain of the boat, he's the captain of the sea. God knows exactly where he's taking you. And that's the most terrifying part of the story of Noah. It wasn't even the flood. It was letting go. And honestly, it still is today. The hardest part of our walk with God is not even the storm. It's letting go of the steering wheel. And I know somebody watching this needs to let go of that steering wheel. You've been trying to hold on so tightly to something God never asked you to carry. Let it go. That fear you have about the future, let it go. That regret you have about the past, let it go. That thing you keep replaying in your head, let it go. That thing you wish you could go back and fix, let it go. That what if, that should have, let that junk go. That version of your life that you thought you'd have right now, let it go. That person who hurt you and never apologized, let them go. That anger you've been holding on to, that bitterness, that anxiety, let all that junk go. Like I said, you suffer more in your imagination than you do in reality. All your suffering is coming from the gap between the way things are versus the way you think things should be. And you created that gap all by yourself. You built a version of your life in your head, and now you're mad that it's not going the way you wanted it to. I should be married by now. I should have that job. I should be so much further ahead than I am right now. Everyone else has it so much easier than me. All your suffering is coming from your mind, from things that aren't even real, from things that you're making up, from things that have either already happened or might happen, but you can't do anything about either of those. You can't change the past, and you can't control the future. But I believe God showed you this video to let you know that you can let your mind rest. You don't have to stress yourself out and worry about these things. Just because you thought it doesn't mean it's true. Just because you feel it doesn't mean it's final. God never asked you to figure it all out on your own. He just wants you to trust that he already has. You don't got to understand the why, when, where, or the how. You just got to trust the who. Understanding is not a requirement. Trusting God is, though. So I want you to live in what is, not in what was and not in what will be, but what is now, because no amount of worrying changes the future, no amount of regret changes the past, but any amount of gratitude changes the present. Life has a simple formula. Let God have your past, trust God with your future, and thank God for your present, because yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. Comment down below if you know where that quote is from. So I say all this to say, let go. Even your lungs know that you can't breathe in without letting go of the last breath. You were literally designed to release before you receive. So what have you been holding on to? Let that junk go, man. You've come a long way. Even with all your stresses and worries, you made it all the way to this point. God carried you through every single battle. He made a way every single time. You've survived 100% of the days you thought you wouldn't. You gotta stop beating yourself up, because God is proud of you, man. You might not be where you wanna be, but thank God you're not where you used to be. You might not have everything you want, but if God is all you have all you need. You gotta stop trying to live in tomorrow. There's a story in the Old Testament. After God had rescued his people from Egypt, they were wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. And during those 40 years, they had to eat. And so God did something crazy. He would rain down bread from heaven every single morning, and they called it manna. But here's the thing. God told them you can only collect enough for one day. They weren't allowed to hoard it. They weren't allowed to stockpile it or save up for tomorrow. They just needed to gather what they needed for that day. And so what did they end up doing? Some of the people who didn't trust God and tried to save it for tomorrow, the bread that they collected rotted. It was filled with maggots. It stunk. It was just gross. And God was trying to teach them something here, and definitely teach us. That's why Jesus said, give us this day our daily bread. Not weekly, not monthly, daily. So when you're stressing out about tomorrow, when you're stressing out about next week or your future, you're basically doing what they did. You're trying to hoard the bread, and it's going to end up rotting just like it did for them. That's why Jesus said, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Today is all we have. Anxiety is like the engine light on your dashboard. Like whenever you have an engine light on your dashboard, it's telling you something is wrong. It's not the problem itself. Like the engine light is not the problem. It's just showing you there's a problem. And the mistake we make is just staring at the engine light like, why is this thing on? Why won't it turn off? Instead of realizing that the engine light is not the problem, it's a signal. And the same is true with anxiety. Your anxiety is not the problem. It's a signal that you need to take it to God. God said in the Bible, cast your cares upon me because I care about you. And I just want to finish out by saying, not everything depends on you. You're not God. And that should be great news for you, because there's things you've been trying to control, understand, and fix that have only been leaving you more stressed out, anxious, and worried. But I'm here to tell you today that you don't have to do it all alone. You were never meant to. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is let God. Trust God and let him do what only he can do. Not everything is meant to be solved through effort. Some things are only meant to be solved by surrendering. And I want to leave you with this. The same way the sky clears up, the clouds pass, storms don't last forever. I'm here to tell you today that whatever you're going through right now, whatever you're worried about, is going to pass as well. The sky is going to clear, and you don't got to stress over things that you can't control. Nothing destroys you faster than your own mind. Let go of the steering wheel. Just chill out, find a chair on the ark, sit down, and just be like, God, take the wheel. Do what only you can do. You're going to be okay, all right? You're already okay. God's got you. And if y'all would be so bold, if this is really hitting you, I challenge you to comment down below what you've been worrying about. Bring it out in the light. I bet you're going to feel relief after you bring it out in the open. Or maybe it's a regret you have about the past. Whether it's a regret or a worry, drop it down below. Be vulnerable in the comments. We're a community here. We're a family. We all a part of the same family, man. We all children of God. God is our Father, and he's looking down at us with a smile. He's looking at you with a smile right now. I hope this video blesses you. Man, I love y'all so much, but Jesus loves you even more. Don't worry. Be happy. All right? Can I get an A? Man.